What's going on? Welcome to Blockchain Tech and Finance News with me, your host, KinToshi. If you're on the YouTube side, please do subscribe, turn on the bell notifications here to Blockchain Tech and Finance News. I have some articles I found interesting that I'm going to be reading from today. You can catch us on the YouTube side on this episode of all of the article recaps in the description box below. So I'm going to start spinning up articles here. We're going to start out with the coin market cap, though, right after transition. I'm just going to bring up the Twitter monitor. Call it the Twitter monitor. You can chat with me on Twitter side. Also, I can see your chats here. You can go ahead and chat. You can throw out what projects or news you find most important in technology, finance, blockchain. All right, cool. Vocals are good, and you can chat on the Twitter side. You can chat on the chat side, whether you're on YouTube or Twitch. So we got Bitcoin in at $50,268, down 1.96%. Ethereum 4,337, down 1.2%. Binance Coin down 0.7% at $584.89. We got Tether USDT at $1. We got Solana 189.05, down 6.27%. Cardano $1.38, down 5.122%. USD coin USDC is riding at 99 cents. Probably be back at the pegged at the dollar. XRP 83 cents, down 0.71%. Polkadot 28.96%, up 0.22%. And we got in 10th place Terra Luna, $66.63, down 7.41%. And from after that, we have Dogecoin, Avalanche, Shiba Inu, Polygon, Crypto.com, Binance USD, BUSD, Wrapped Bitcoin, Litecoin, Uniswap, Algorand, Chainlink, and Tron TRX in at 22%. And we got Decentraland down there, Axie Infinities, other like cryptocurrencies that do their thing. On the trending side, we got Micropets, Mars Rise, and Genshin Floki Inu, up 1.94%, up 11% on Mars Rise, up 1.65%, and we got Elon Floki Inu as up 869.63%. In the biggest recent gainers, Christmas Floki X 487%, Life Down up 377%. And we got some recently added coins you can look into on your own accord there. I'm going to go spin up the first news article here. We have CNBC on Visa launches crypto consulting service. Visa launches crypto consulting service in a push for mainstream adoption. This is from Ryan Brown on CNBC. Key points that Visa said Wednesday it is launching an advisory practice to help clients navigate the world of cryptocurrencies. The payment processor hopes it can further mainstream adoption of Bitcoin and other digital currencies. Visa and its rival MasterCard see crypto as a key growth opportunity as they expand beyond card payments. Visa is launching new consulting and advisory services to help its clients navigate the world of cryptocurrencies. The payment processor said Wednesday its crypto advisory practice housed within its consulting and analytics division will offer advice to financial institutions, retailers, and other firms on everything from rolling out crypto features to exploring non-fungible tokens. Visa named American bank UMB as a client that's already using its crypto advisory services. The move marks Visa's latest attempt to push deeper into the crypto industry. From October 1st, 2020 to September 30th, 2021, the company processed $3.5 billion in digital currency transactions through its crypto-linked card schemes, according to Nikola Plekas, Visa's European crypto lead. Some of these leading exchanges have millions, or in some instances tens of millions of users, Plekas told CNBC, adding that the company allows users to spend their crypto at over 80 million merchants. The company is also developing products geared towards stablecoins, virtual tokens tied to the value of sovereign currencies, typically the dollar and the central bank issued digital currencies. Visa hopes its crypto consultancy can help further mainstream adoption of Bitcoin and other digital currencies. Like rival MasterCard, the credit card giant sees cryptocurrencies as a key growth opportunity as it expands into areas beyond card payments. Major payment networks have faced increased competition from an influx of new financial upstarts in recent years. Emerging trends such as open banking, which aims to open up consumer bank information and payment capabilities to rival fintechs, threaten to disrupt their business model. Meanwhile, Visa is under pressure from large tech companies. Amazon last month said it would stop accepting Visa credit cards in the UK due to the company's high fees. The e-commerce titan has taken similar steps against Visa in Australia and Singapore. Crypto for us is a huge new vertical and growth opportunity, and we'll be continuing to focus on growing the business moving forward, Plekas said. The study released by Visa Wednesday said 94% of people now have some level of awareness of crypto, while nearly one-third have used it as an investment or medium of exchange. More than 6,000 people globally were surveyed for the research, which was conducted in partnership with marketing services firm LRW. So this is Visa launches crypto consulting services to push for mainstream adoption. All right, I'm going to bring up the next article here. This next article I have coming up is from CoinDesk. Australia set for massive shakeup to crypto regulations via the Treasurer statement here. It's from Eliza Gritsky, writer for CoinDesk. The Australian government will launch the biggest payment reform. Checking the monitor there. The Australian government will launch the biggest payments reform in 25 years, the Treasurer said in an interview. The government of Australia will announce the biggest reform in payment systems in 25 years, including crypto, on Wednesday, Treasurer Josh Frydenberg said. In an attempt to modernize Australia's payment system, the new regulations will broaden the definition of services and products that can be regulated, taking cryptocurrencies and digital assets out of the shadows and into a world-leading regulatory framework, Frydenberg said in an interview with 7 News Australia on Wednesday. Firms that buy and sell cryptocurrencies will have to be licensed to bring safety and security to users, the Treasurer said. The government will also work out a licensing plan for crypto exchanges next year, the Australian Financial Review reported. The Treasury will also be working with the central bank on digital currency, according to Frydenberg. In October, an official from the Reserve Bank of Australia said that there is no strong case for a CBDC in Australia, but that the central bank was ramping up its development to stay ahead of global competition. More than 800,000 Australians own some form of crypto assets. Frydenberg said that figure is about 3% of the population, significantly lower than previous estimates based on online surveys. The Treasurer's proposed regulation will take aim to buy now, pay later services. Over 5 million accounts for such services exist in Australia, he said. Australia's Senate formed a committee to research crypto regulations in March, which submitted a report to legislators on October 20th. So this is Australia set for massive shakeup in crypto regulations via the Treasurer's statement. And this article I have coming up here is from CNBC. The Decentralization Illusion Central Bank Group urges regulation of DeFi crypto platforms. This is from Ryan Brown, writer from CNBC. The key points: the Bank of International Settlements, an umbrella group for central banks, says it's concerned there's a decentralization illusion in DeFi. DeFi is a rapidly growing part of the crypto market that promises traditional finance products without involvement from middlemen such as banks. Regulators are increasingly concerned about platforms offering DeFi services that may not be as decentralized as advertised. The central bank of central banks is worried about decentralized finance. The Bank for International Settlements is an umbrella group for centralized banks, said in a report this week that is concerned there is a decentralization illusion in DeFi. DeFi is a rapidly growing part of the cryptocurrency market that promises to deliver traditional financial products like loans and savings accounts without involvement from regulated middlemen such as banks. But regulators are increasingly concerned about platforms offering DeFi services that may not be as decentralized as advertised. What we found is that the decentralized aspect tends to be elusive. Augustin Carstens, general manager of the BIS, told CNBC's Juliana Tastelbaum Tuesday there are some incentive issues relating to the fact that through this decentralization, at some point you end up with some agents that play an important role and not necessarily for the best interest of users for financial services. The central bank group did not mention any specific names related to its concerns. The BIS said DeFi must be properly regulated in order to safeguard investors and boost trust in the market. Tim Lehes, a co-founder of decentralized crypto exchange Swarm Markets, accepted there was progress to be made in DeFi, but said numerous institutions in the space are already working to address the systemic issues flagged by the BIS. Ultimately, each protocol will face the decision of whether a transition to a compliant business model, as said in an emailed note Tuesday. There's much to gain from operating within regulatory frameworks established to protect investors and maintain access to markets. Many DeFi services are built on top of Ethereum, the blockchain network behind Ether. The world's second largest cryptocurrency transactions are facilitated through so-called smart contracts, which automate various processes through lines of code. More than $100 billion worth of funds is currently sitting on Ethereum-based DeFi protocols, according to data from Crypto News and research from The Block. Some of the biggest platforms in the space include Maker, Curve, and Compound. DeFi sites are luring in investors with the promise of huge returns on their loans and savings, but they are increasingly being targeted by hackers and fraudsters, according to blockchain analytics firms Elliptic. Over $10 billion has been lost to DeFi scams and thefts so far in 2021. The BIS said it believes the risks around DeFi have currently been contained to crypto markets, but that going forward, the growth of DeFi poses financial stability concerns. The group flagged severe vulnerabilities within the industry, including highly leveraged trades, liquidity issues, and a lack of shock absorbers such as banks. It's important that we, as authorities, don't feel complacent. Carson said there might be aspects that are safe, but there are also some aspects that are not, and I think that I should make us think seriously about this. Yeah. All right, Decentralized Illusion. Central bank groups urges regulation for DeFi crypto platforms. There's a lot of good points in that article there to read through. The article I'm spinning up here is from Cointelegraph. In a news section of the CIA director says agency currently has a number of different projects focused on crypto. The CIA director says agency currently has a number of different projects. Oh yeah, that's what I was reading from the HTML link. William Burns said that the building knowledge on crypto was an important priority for the CIA, and he planned to devote resources and attention to it. Current director of the Central Intelligence Agency, William Burns, said his predecessor at the government agency initiated projects focused on gathering intelligence on cryptocurrency. Fielding a question on crypto at the Wall Street Journal CEO's Council Summit on Monday, Burns said the CIA was looking to add expertise in cryptocurrencies and blockchain to its team of intelligence analysts in addition to communicating with industry experts. He said the challenges from the crypto space could have enormous impact on the United States given what he has already seen in ransomware attacks. My predecessor had started this, said Burns, likely referring to the actions of former acting CIA Director David Cohen. They had set in motion a number of different projects focused on cryptocurrency and trying to look at second and third order consequences that will, as well as helping with our colleagues in other parts of the U.S. government, provide solid intelligence on what we're seeing as well. He added that building such knowledge on crypto is an important priority for the agency, and he planned to devote resources and attention to it. The CIA director did not mention specifics on the direction the agency planned to take in regard to fighting cyber attacks, but hinted it would aim to get at the financial networks for criminal groups using digital currencies for ransom. Burns, who assumed the director position in March, has seen hackers demand millions in crypto over an attack on Colonial Pipeline system in May, but also a task force from the U.S. government respond by recovering the majority of the lost funds. Michael Morrell, a former acting CIA director from 2012 to 2013, said blockchain analysis is a highly effective crime-fighting and intelligence-gathering tool, one underutilized by law enforcement agencies. There is no fixed term for a CIA director, meaning Burns will likely serve at the agency as a treasurer at the pleasure of U.S. President Joe Biden. At the time of publication, Biden has yet to announce his picks to fill 3 empty seats on the board of governors in the Federal Reserve System. So CIA director says agency currently has a number of different projects focused on crypto. I'm going to spin up the next article here and keep on going. This next article is from CoinDesk in the business section, written by Eli Tan. Crypto fans rejoice, gamers revolt as Ubisoft announces NFT plans. The first major game maker to roll out in-game NFTs was met with backlash Tuesday from a crypto-wary public. So they got the Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Breakpoint, and I even made comments on this that being positive about the shift into exploratory realm with NFTs into a AAA game. And yeah, there was a lot of negative comments and feedback, which doesn't matter. On one side, the argument are crypto investors and observers heralding the move as a bellwether of things to come. The integration marks the first time a mainstream video game is adding NFTs to its in-game economy. The ability to own and sell digital goods outside the walled garden of a given title has long been a holy grail for crypto-minded gamers. So on the other side of the aisle are mainstream gamers wary of what that bellwether may really entail. As one gaming outlet put it, letting this slide is just the latest endorsement to reset of the latest endorsement the rest of the industry needs to nosedive into full-time crypto nonsense. The integration itself will be done through Ubisoft Quartz, a platform that allows players to earn digits, which are in-game collectibles expressed as NFTs. I mean, I'd have to see that there's a NFT contract behind it and what blockchain is it operating on is my first question before anything else. Why are Ubisoft's NFTs better for your gaming experience? Well, they say right here, item has a number on it. The number belongs to you until you sell it to someone else. In Ubisoft's own words, their NFTs literally add nothing to the actual gaming experience. Other than, basically if you lose your account gets deleted. You have your gaming assets tied to the blockchain. So you can log back in and create a new account if you have to. Maybe eventually game data for accounts will be stored in a blockchain ledger or something recallable. I'm not sure. A certain progress, just like a hard drive game save. But the assets of skins, makes sense to be savable and connected to wallet, and also interconnected with IPFS, Interplanetary File Protocol System. So that's further encrypted, and our skins are always available wherever we are, and logging into new wallets and logging into the game connected to the blockchain, connected to our wallet. Our skins and items are still there, as we saw with it. And this can go for definitely performance-based games that have like certain items that have utility within the game, not just a variety of aesthetic. As we saw in a literary-minded NFT drop that was recently scuttled over fierce backlash from Book Twitter, those appeals to proof-of-stake energy savings did not pacify the online mob. That was a weird comment, but all right. Ubisoft courts will launch on December 9th in the US, Canada, Spain, France, Germany, Italy, Belgium, Australia, and Brazil. The company is releasing 3 collections of digits for free to reward the platform's early adopters. Yeah, I'll go check it out. Why not? Digits include in-game. That's not financial advice. Do your own research, but I'm interested to see how it goes. Digits include in-game vehicles, weapons, and pieces of equipment, with each player being limited to owning one item of each edition, according to a press release. Actually, right after the stream, I'll be cutting the stream and going right into Warzone within 15 minutes after. Ubisoft Quartz is the first building block in our ambitious vision for developing a true metaverse, said Nicolas Pouard, vice president of Ubisoft's Strategic Innovation Lab, and it can't come to life without overcoming blockchain's early form limitations for gaming, including scalability and energy consumption. Web3 gaming has seen significant investment in recent months, headlined by a $200 million fund from Hashed and $100 million fund from Lightspeed and FTX. Traditional gaming companies have been slower to embrace the Web3 space, but NFT integrations like Ubisoft's could be a catalyst for adoption among other incumbent gaming giants. XTZ, the native assets on the Tezos blockchain, was up sharply at the announcement, surging 31% in afternoon trading, according to CoinGecko. There's been several pushes from people from the Tezos community over the past to join their community and see what the blockchain's about. I was there back and forth. It was a bit janky, but it's improving and doing its thing. I haven't been recently over in the Tezos space, so I can't really say. Maybe there's a bunch of scaling in there that's going well for them. All right, so next article I've got going up. Is from CoinDesk. And Google sues to shutter cryptojacking botnet that infected 1 million plus computers. The botnet used the Bitcoin blockchain to evade cybersecurity officials and remain online, Google alleged. This is from Nicolesh Day and Danny Nelson, writers for CoinDesk. So Google on Tuesday moved to shut down a sophisticated cryptojacking botnet that used the Bitcoin blockchain to evade cybersecurity officials. Known as Gluptepa, the botnet has infected more than 1 million machines worldwide, Google said in a civil complaint filed Tuesday against Dmitry Starovico and Alexander Filipov, as well as 15 unknown individuals. Google alleged the defendants utilized the botnet to mine cryptocurrencies on victims' computers, steal victims' account information to sell to third parties, purchase goods and services using credit cards with insufficient funds, and sell access to compromised machines to third parties. Moreover, the botnet itself leveraged blockchain technology in a unique manner as an effort to secure it against traditional tools, meaning to disrupt these types of malicious activities. It effectively turned Bitcoin's decentralization into an asset that made it much harder to shut down, Google executives wrote in a blog post. The botnet weaponized Bitcoin's blockchain, according to chain analysts, which said it's helped Google's investigation by embedding command and control server addresses in the blockchain, and then having the botnet turn to that data whenever an infected server was shuttered. It stays a step ahead of the cybersecurity whack-a-mole. This is the first known case. I wonder if it's having to do with, in my mind, like fetching the blocks. I with some sort of ransomware. I have to see, I'm not sure. This is the first known case of a botnet using this approach, representatives for chain Elusis said in an email. Google's complaint went into more detail, saying that the Glupteba enterprise, the entity controlled by the defendants, would use this method to direct the malware to new servers. I don't know if it was because like part of that malware, the malware system was connected to like the botnet looked at 3 specific Bitcoin addresses according to a Google blog post. Google said that while it had already taken some action to disrupt the botnet, the fact that it uses Bitcoin blockchain means the operators can resurrect the network at any time. So it must be something that's relying on how Bitcoin is just constantly and industrially being mined. Basically, so it can't be like shut down so because this computer servers are so powerful that are operating the Bitcoin blockchain, fetching the blocks, and it can't stop the chain. So this botnet is attached to how these blocks are being fetched, and maybe that ransomware malware is being like reactivated every time going with a new block being fetched, I guess, is my thought. The Glupteba botnet cannot be I may be wrong and I have no clue. The Glupteba botnet cannot be eradicated entirely without neutralizing its blockchain-based infrastructure, the complaint said. Google filed fraud and racketeering allegations against defendants in its suit. So I mean, if they like have it already, like always running this like malware that's attached to a blockchain fetching blocks, and then it's like it's a evasive. It's not like a software type. It's more like a crazy hybrid malware attached to a blockchain algorithm. Or if it gets shut down, it just fetches its next block of basically malware performance. That's my only thought behind that, if that's what's going on. Our next article I have spinning up here is from CoinDesk. India's crypto bill proposes arrest warrant without warrant. In this report from the policy section from Amitoj Singh, writer from CoinDesk, dealing in crypto could lead to an arrest without a warrant and could be non-bailable according to the report. The proposed crypto bill by the Indian government may bring about tougher measures for crypto, including time in jail for those who violate the law, Reuters reported on Tuesday, citing an unidentified source in the summary of the draft bill. The government is planning a general prohibition on all activities by any individual mining, generating, holding, selling, or dealing in digital currency, such as a medium of exchange, store of value, or in a unit of account. According to the summary of the bill seen by Reuters, individuals who are found in violation could face arrest without a warrant, which could be non-bailable, the report added. India's capital markets regulator, the Securities and Exchange Board of India, SEBI, will be the regulator for crypto assets. According to Reuters and other outlets, violators of exchange provisions could face a jail term and fines of up to 200 million rupees, $2.65 million, according to previous reports. The reports come as a blow to expectations that the Indian government might take a more relaxed stance on crypto. The draft bill hasn't been presented to the cabinet yet and will have to go through parliament before becoming a law. That's the whole article. Yep, that's the whole article there. So India's crypto bill proposes arrest without warrant in the report. I have one more article in the crypto and blockchain-based space before we shift over into finance and technology before closing out the stream for the day. This is from Time Magazine. Crypto CEOs head to Congress to push back on looming regulations. Here's what to expect. This is from writer Andrew R. Chow for Time Magazine. While cryptocurrencies have exploded over the last couple of years, U.S. regulators have been slow to keep up, leaving crypto investors at risk of being swindled out of thousands of dollars or more. On Wednesday, the first major in-person face-off will occur between crypto companies and regulators when 6 key crypto executives will arrive in Washington for a congressional hearing led by Maxine Waters, an advocate of cryptocurrency regulation. Members of Congress will likely call upon CEOs to be more accountable to their consumers and investors. The CEOs, conversely, hope to educate lawmakers about their rapidly evolving field and stress the potentially transformative impacts cryptocurrencies could have on the U.S. economy. Overly stringent regulations, they fear, could dampen that growth. The hearings come during a tense time for crypto. Last week, SEC Chairman Gary Gensler once again called for the regulation of crypto, calling it an asset class rife with fraud, scams, and abuse. Over the weekend, major cryptocurrencies took a nosedive with Bitcoin prices dropping more than 17%, while the trading platform Bitmart suffered a hack in which $196 million was swiped, according to a security firm. Even so, when viewed from a wider lens, cryptocurrencies are still in an enormous boom period. They now make up $2 trillion market and are being gradually accepted by major institutions. Here's what to know about the hearing before it begins. Who will be participating in the hearing? The hearing will be led by Waters, the Democrat for California, the chairwoman of the House Committee of Financial Services. The hearing's full title is Digital Assets and the Future of Finance, Understanding the Challenges and Benefits of Financial Innovation in the United States. Over the last few years, Waters has held several panels on crypto and digital currencies. In June, she pledged a thorough examination of this marketplace and warned of the systemic risk presented by hedge funds rushing to invest in highly volatile cryptocurrencies and cryptocurrency derivatives. Waters' committee has called 6 witnesses to the hearing who are executives for major cryptocurrency companies and exchanges, including Coinbase, Circle, and FTX. Some of them have expressed support for increased regulation. Charles Cascarilla, president and CEO of Paxos, told CNBC last month that you need regulation, you need clarity in order for everyone to understand how you can operate in the industry. Sam Bankman-Fried, the CEO of FTX, told CoinDesk in September that he would be excited to work with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC) on common sense regulations. On Friday, FTX published on their blog a list of the 10 general proposals that Congress should consider, including the implementation of a single market regulator with a single rule book and the requirement that cryptocurrency exchanges conduct regular anti-money laundering surveillance. Other members of the panel have used slightly more contentious language with regards to regulators. Brian Brooks, the CEO of Bitfury Group, who served as a controller of the currency under President Trump, told CNBC this week that he hoped the hearings would include discussions about Kafka-esque contradictions surrounding cryptocurrency regulations, including the relationship between banks and stablecoins. In September, Brian Armstrong, the CEO of Coinbase, accused the SEC of engaging in intimidation tactics behind closed doors after the SEC threatened to sue the company over a new product called Lend. Perhaps coincidentally, Coinbase is the only company not sending their CEO to the hearing. Alessi Gian Haas, the CFO of Coinbase Global Inc., will appear instead. That's company financial officer. What does cryptocurrency regulation look like at the moment? Decentralization is baked into the very conceit of cryptocurrency. Major figures in that world would have long been extremely resistant to the idea of regulation. Its free-willing nature has allowed many investors to make enormous amounts of money, including from extremely volatile meme currencies like Dogecoin and Shiba Inu. DeFi, or decentralized finance, has also risen dramatically in usage over the last year, creating an unregulated infrastructure for lending and trading on the blockchain. But while crypto's lack of connection to formal institutions is a key part of its appeal, its lack of a central authority has also made it susceptible to theft, fraud, and hacks. In June, a cyber attack on the oil company Colonial Pipeline led to a massive shutdown that caused a spike in natural and gas prices and panic buying. The company paid out a $2.3 million ransomware that was later recovered by authorities. More recently, a hack of the decentralized finance platform Badger DAO led to the loss of $120 million because transactions on the blockchain are largely irreversible. Victims of crypto scams usually have little recourse to recover their money. These sorts of activities have put cryptocurrencies in the crosshairs of the SEC. Last December, the agency filed a lawsuit against Ripple Labs, arguing that the company violated securities laws when it had sold over $1 billion of a digital coin without registering with the commission or providing adequate disclosures to investors. The lawsuit has become highly contentious, with Ripple arguing that the SEC is overstepping its bounds. Gensler, who was tapped by President Joe Biden to become the new SEC chairman this year, has expressed plenty of skepticism about cryptocurrencies and called for the need of guardrails to protect individual investors from bad deals. Some crypto advocates fear that the animosity could culminate in much larger crackdowns akin to those seen in China, which banned all transactions involving cryptocurrencies, in India, where the government proposed a bill that seeks to ban all private cryptocurrencies in the country. What do key U.S. officials think about cryptocurrencies? The first roadblock for the government to set regulations is to be determined. Who has jurisdiction? The SEC and the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, CFTC, have argued over who should oversee the space, creating confusion and redundancy. The acting controller of the currency, Michael Hisu, I'm not sure, had argued for consolidation oversight of cryptocurrencies and has pled for less regulatory competition and more cooperation. He says that his office's position should not be interpreted a green light or a solid red light, but rather as a reflective of a disciplined, deliberate, and diligent approach to a novel and risky area. In Congress, there are unsurprisingly both allies and skeptics of crypto fiercely advocating their positions. Elizabeth Warren, the Democrat from Massachusetts, has also been extremely vocal in calling for the regulation of cryptocurrencies. On the other side are Senator Cynthia Lummis, representative of Wyoming, whose home state of Wyoming has become a cryptocurrency haven, and Senator Patrick Toomey, representative of Pennsylvania, who says that cryptocurrency and blockchain technologies be as revolutionary as the internet. Can be as revolutionary as the internet, or are as revolutionary as the internet. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen falls somewhere in the middle. She has been worried about cryptocurrencies being used for illegal purposes, but has also said that stablecoins can be useful as if they're carefully regulated. What legislation might emerge from the hearing? The session likely won't immediately produce landmark crypto legislation, but it does signal a desire of members of Congress to learn more about the technology. There's still plenty of miseducation and misunderstanding about the topic whizzing from all sides, and the learning curves remain very steep. One proposed bill that could be elevated by the hearing is the Token Taxonomy Act, which aims to specify that digital tokens are not securities. So that's Crypto CEOs head to Congress to push back on looming regulations, and here's what to expect article. All right, moving on into finance and technology here. The metaverse will disrupt human life. Here are 7 companies that may win big. Here's from Brian Sozzi, writer from Yahoo Finance. Will be disruptive to society once it gains its true form over the next decade. Jefferies analyst Simon argues, but several companies could be poised to benefit greatly from the new digital ecosystem. A single metaverse could be more than a decade away, but as it evolves, it has the potential to disrupt almost everything in human life that has not yet already been disrupted, said Powell in a lengthy research note on Monday titled The Digitization of Everything. The pandemic accelerated the adoption of various technologies. Many people were forced to spend even more of their lives online, from socializing to working, from education to entertainment. The shift to an online world will continue. The metaverse arguably burst into the public lexicon for the first time this year, as Facebook founder Mark Zuckerberg has hyped the digital world's potential and changed its holding company's name to Meta in show of support. Microsoft Yahoo Finance Company of the Year has also talked increasingly about the metaverse and how it will play in it moving forward. In its simplest form, the metaverse is an online world that includes augmented reality, virtual reality, 3D avatars. As this world takes form, how things are done stand to change dramatically, explains Powell. The digitization of everything will create a new world that we can all move in and out of. The metaverse can be viewed as a new platform for the digital age. We see as a wrapper that will roll up other digital platforms. It will not replace the internet, but instead build on top of it. And when combined with other technologies and interfaces, will allow us to essentially step into and perhaps live in it. The virtual environment is not only expected to change how people interact with the physical world, but also how we work with each other. I think we are building towards the metaverse. I am really excited about the vision, said Dropbox founder CEO Drew Houston recently on Yahoo Finance Live, where Dropbox fits. And if you are working in that kind of environment or in the metaverse, you need stuff. So for your digital content, Dropbox could help. And that is what we are building towards. It is very early. It's a long journey, but it is exciting. Jeffrey Powell acknowledges it is still early for investors to pick definitive metaverse winners, but investors could begin mapping out a plan of attack focused initially on the metaverse, on the hardware needed to lift the internet to become the metaverse. Then look at the software that will design and host it, ultimately the businesses that create use cases on it, adds Powell. The analyst outlines several potential winners from the metaverse, mostly regulated to the social media and gaming sectors. So Facebook, Meta, SNAP are both working on hardware to access the metaverse while having social media platforms with significant reach. Roblox, RBLX is the closest to being an early stage metaverse. Take-Two, TTWO, is currently running 3 games that arguably could be early stage metaverses. Electronic Arts EA has several IPs that could be ripe to be turned into walled garden metaverses. Skate, Sims, SimCity, and even its sports franchises. Activision Blizzard ATVI has one of the innovators in early metaverse with World of Warcraft in its library. Moreover, Call of Duty could use many of the tools in building a metaverse to better monetize and engage users cross-platform, cross-universe, single currency economy. Music will likely play a role along the way from here to there. Warner Music, WMG, already sees this as it has invested in several parts on startups that are building tools platforms in the metaverse, notes Powell. Yeah, I mean, maybe go into the movie theaters in like a headset, like you're in a movie theater or something, rather than even looking at a screen on your wall anymore. So you don't need to buy TVs anymore and stuff. All right, let's go into the next article here. That was that article, Metaverse will disrupt human life. Here are 7 companies that may win big in that area based on their involvement. So traders take long shot bets on chance of U.S. export oil ban. U.S. oil export ban. This is from Devika Krishna Kumar and Michael Askanauti, Yahoo Finance writers. Traders take long shot bets on chance of U.S. oil export ban. From Bloomberg, oil traders are scooping up options contracts that would pay out if U.S. crude futures plummet against international benchmark Brent, a signal that some believe the Biden administration could intervene in the market again to bring down oil prices. So, let's see. Some traders have bet on the small chance that West Texas intermediates discount to Brent surges past $10 a barrel next year. The last time the spread traded near $10 was in 2018 and 2019 when severe pipeline constraints trapped barrels in the Permian Basin, the largest oil field in the country. This spread was trading around $3.60 a barrel Tuesday. The oil market has been volatile as top consuming nations came together in an unprecedented move last month to release crude from their emergency reserves and bring down energy costs. The Biden administration's ongoing focus on lowering gasoline prices has now prompted some traders to purchase some contracts that could pay out just in case they take further steps such as limiting or pausing crude exports. Even if the spread between the benchmark contracts, a key indicator for pricing imports and exports, doesn't widen all the way to $10, the options could still pay out marginally. The options also act as protection for physical traders who could risk losing millions of dollars on cargo if the U.S. suddenly bans exports. While small in volume, the option trades have popped up consistently over the past week. Since last Tuesday, the equivalent of 11.25 million barrels have changed hands, with 10.1 million barrels of brand new positions being opened, betting on the chance that the premium of Brent to West Texas Intermediary crude futures surges past $10 a barrel next year. Most traders believe an outright ban on U.S. exports is unlikely, making the trades akin to buying a lottery ticket. A halt in exports would trap more oil in the U.S. in high-pressure domestic prices, and as local refiners are not designed to process the type of light crude produced at home efficiency. The White House is not actively considering a crude oil export ban at this time, according to a person familiar with the administration deliberations. Oops. Click any links. Update with comment regarding to the White House deliberations. All right, that was most read on the Bloomberg side. In the week, and traders take long shot bets on chance of U.S. oil export ban. So I've got two more articles here going into technology. I'm going to close out the stream. Page not found. Oh, here we go. Technology is to blame for the great resignation. Workers are quitting in droves. That's the bad news. The good news is that technology can fix what technology broke. This is from writer Mike Elgin in Computer World. Have you ever... Okay. Have you heard about the September exodus? More than 4 million Americans quit their jobs last month, shattering the record for resignations previously set the month before, and some 40% of remaining employees are thinking of quitting too, according to a Microsoft report. The crisis is even worse in technology. Talent, LMS, and Workable reported recently that 72% of US-based tech employees are thinking of quitting their jobs in the next 12 months. It's not just the US. The Great Resignation is a global phenomenon. Keep up. Pundits point to many causes for the trend, from government stimulus checks to the rise of remote work to entitled millennials and even pandemic-driven stress. In general, it's clear that there's a growing incompatibility between the reality and the expectation of the employee experience. Making matters worse, the more people quit, the harder life gets for those who remain on the job. This is expectedly true of tech workers, IT departments that have been notoriously understaffed, and as the Great Resignation increasingly hits tech workers, all employees suffer more downtime, cyber attacks, and tech implementation slowdowns. This is an emergency. You need to know why people are resigning in such high numbers. And many reasons people quit. After extensively reviewing the interviews, surveys, and reports, I've compiled a list of major reasons people give for quitting during the Great Resignations, and they have such reasons as frustration with laptops, desktops, networks, and systems that don't work well, a trend exacerbated during the pandemic when many remote employees were literally left to their own devices. There's also widespread confusion about how to proceed when technology doesn't work, lack of control over workspace and processes. Many employees feel that they have much to contribute to how work gets done, but are blocked from having their say. A toxic mix of low pay, high workloads, and broader lack of recognition. This observation comes from the Trades Union Congress about employees in the public sector. The lack of work-life balance, COVID-driven remote work gave millions of employees a taste of commuting less and spending more time with family, and they realize that they might retain that with another employer. General flexibility about how things work, how work is done, and when. The lack of training opportunities. Tech workers especially want more training opportunities, 91%. So in the Talent LMS and Workable survey report, many are quitting because they're physically and emotionally exhausted, and the departure of so many makes it that much worse for those who remain. While these reasons are surprising, it's important to realize that what all these have in common is about technology and culture. While business of all sizes are scratching their heads and trying to figure this out, the truth is that our technology products and how they're used, plus our culture around management and employee interaction, is exactly what's driving people out the door. Technology is frustrating workers, creating friction and inertia, blocking employee progress and empowerment, creating needless work, and engendering a feeling of isolation and impotence. The good news is that better technology is the big part of the solution. Here's what you'll need to do to start retaining and attracting employees. You have a transformed training, artificial intelligence, AI-based adaptive learning. Technology can make employees' training far more relevant by enabling employee-driven learning based on what the person already knows, ending frustration with classroom-like or generic training systems. In general, ramp up training and career development, promote from within whenever possible, and guide employees on their career path whenever it leads within the company. Just as products need a roadmap, so does each employee. Enable natural connections between employees. User-friendly collaboration tools foster connection and culture, focused not on just getting the work done, but on team building and the psychology of each employee being part of the team. Use advanced technology for HR, but communicate with a human touch. Automated HR is contributing to the burnout issue when it comes to changes in employee status, pay, benefits, supervisors, other personal events that have an emotional impact on the employees. The communication around this should always be human to human, not emails or automated notifications. Avoid employee surveillance. Many companies react to the rush to remote work with employee surveillance software, monitoring screen activity, mouse movements, time online, and other metrics are the surest way to drive employees away. Nobody wants Big Brother to always be watching, especially in one's own room. Develop alternative means to measure, engage employee performance, be results driven, and don't rank employees based on how often their mouse moves. This is true of remote workers, office workers, and everyone in the new hybrid workforce. Embrace transparency, authenticity, and empathy. Most businesses' culture change happens because each year a new group of young people enter the workforce and an older group retires. The youngest employees, those who have joined the workforce in the past 10 years, have very different expectations about how their employee behaves. They want to know what's going on and to work with human beings who care. If younger employees feel like a cog in the machine, they're more likely to pack up and go. Embrace agility and flexibility. Technology that drives flexibility in hybrid work, remote work, shifting teams, and flexible hours will go a long way in improving the employee experience and sense of well-being. Develop a holistic approach to employee satisfaction with remote and hybrid workforces. Companies need to help employees cope psychologically and emotionally to the realities of disparate and shifting work locations and environments. In the past, it was enough to hold occasional team building exercises and offsite events. Now, managers, supervisors, and leaders should be helping employees not only feel like they're part of the team, but also helping employees maintain physical and mental health. Part of this process is technological. The feeling of connection, involvement, the sense of mission, and a work-life balance can all be helped or harmed by technology choices, as well as work policies and management approaches. Make burnout avoidance top on the list when choosing technology. With each passing month, AI gains ground in text, for example, but it can have opposite effects at either contributing to burnout or alleviating it. AI that replaces human interaction, for example, overly automated HR, can leave employees feeling frustrated and abandoned. AI that augments humans' performance can boost employees, making them feel empowered and supported. It's also true that automating repetitive tasks can free up employees to do the things that only humans can do. Automation should be applied to helping them and empowering humans, not replacing them. The reason for the Great Resignation are many, but it's time we acknowledge the role technology has played in driving away employees in droves, and the role it can play in bringing people back by creating a flexible, humane, and empowering workplace that will make employees happy, productive, and invested in the mission of the company. So this is Mike Elgin, a technology-obsessed journalist, author, blogger, podcaster, and digital nomad on the website elgin.com. You can go check them out, and they're rated for computer world here in this article of technologies to blame for the Great Resignation on opinion section of technology. Got one more article here before closing out this stream. This is from U.S. News by platform Reuters. Honeywell-backed crypto company to sell super secure quantum encryption key by Jane An-hee Lee, writer. Quantum computer software firm Cambridge Quantum said on Tuesday it was launching a platform that can generate super secure cryptographic keys and sell them as a commercial product. UK-based startup this year became a wholly owned subsidiary of Quantum, a quantum computer hardware and software company in which Honeywell International Inc. has a 54% stake. Cambridge Quantum uses a quantum computer to generate a particularly random encryption key, said its head of cybersecurity, Duncan Jones, in an interview with Quantum computers can generate playing something. Alright. Trying to get this to stop playing here. Anyways, the UK-based startup this year became a wholly owned subsidiary of Quantum, which has the 54% stake. Cambridge Quantum uses the quantum computer to generate a particularly random encryption key, said its head of cybersecurity, Duncan Jones, in an interview with Reuters. Quantum computers can generate a more random encryption key than classical computers, which makes them more secure and less vulnerable to cyber attacks, he said. Cambridge Quantum said it would target its quantum origin service to financial services firms and cybersecurity firms before expanding it to other high priority sectors such as telecommunications, energy, manufacturing, defense, and government. We've been working for a number of years now on a method to efficiently and effectively use the unique features of quantum computers in order to provide our customers with the defense against adversaries and criminals now and in the future once quantum computers are prevalent. Ilyas Khan, CEO of Quantum, the founder of Cambridge Quantum, said in a statement. Quantum origin gives us the ability to be safe from the most sophisticated and powerful threats today, as well as threats from quantum computers in the future. Quantum computers are based on quantum bits or qubits, which can be set to 1 and 0 at the same time, creating exponentially more paths than classical computers whose bits are either 1s or 0s. Researchers believe quantum computers could operate millions of times faster than today's advanced supercomputers. So that's this article here. Honeywell-backed company to sell super secure quantum encryption key. All right, that's all I have for the reading of today. Quantum computing is definitely going a far ways fast. It's like the second scaling of the computer machine and encryptions. Be nice to explore research into a mineable cryptocurrency used through quantum encryption and quantum computing. All right, so if you're on the YouTube side, please do subscribe, turn on the bell notifications here to blockchain, tech, and finance news, and I will be back tomorrow with more news. Pray you have a great and kind, safe day wherever in the world you are. Cheers, ciao, peace be with you. Stay safe.